This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv, Supertraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Got a couple questions to whip through right now, so let's get to it. Somebody asked about training the biceps, training the lats, and training the quads. What are the importance for powerlifting, and when should you incorporate it? Let's go over the lats first. Training the lats is important. The wider the base, the better. So doing lat pull downs, doing pull-ups, things like that, bent over rows, anything that's going to work the lats is going to be done nearly every day in a powerlifter's routine, in any real powerlifter's routine. I would say that you're going to be doing some sort of lat work 3 to 4 times a week, especially when you start to include deadlifts and things like that. Like I said earlier, you got bent over rows, you got lat pull downs, you got pull-ups, you got one-arm rows, you got lots of different types of stuff. Rowing movements tend to seem to help with the deadlift. Rowing movements also seem to help with, I guess, all 3 movements really, because it's going to help build a wider and thicker back, which will be better for bench pressing, help you kind of almost pull those weights into you and keep those shoulder blades pinned down rather than up. If you actually rotate your shoulder down, you'll feel your lat flex. So training the lats can be very, very important for powerlifting. It can also help you take the weights out and set the weight into the right spot. Having a wider and thicker back is going to give you a lot better opportunity to make big lifts in all 3 lifts. Let's talk about the biceps. A lot of people like to kid around and joke around about the biceps, but the biceps are no joking matter, my friend. To build up the biceps, you want to do a lot of different types of curls, just as anybody else would. Doing barbell curl movements, hammer curls, regular dumbbell curls, alternating dumbbell curls, all that kind of stuff is going to help build up your arms. Stronger arms is going to lead to a stronger bench press, even though it's the opposite side of the side that's pushing. It's the opposite side of your tricep. The bicep is still going to help with controlling those big benches, and it's going to help tremendously in just overall control and arm strength in the bench press. Training your arms can also help your deadlift. When Stan Efferding trained here at Super Training, I noticed that a lot of times Stan would manipulate the weights with his arms. He'd bend his arms slightly as he was coming up from a deadlift, and he'd kind of move the weights around. Next thing you know, he'd be locked out. So having really, really strong arms in that lift can help as well, help keep your biceps healthy, help keep them from tearing, which is a common thing in a deadlift. And now let's talk about the quads. How important are the quads? Well, obviously, you're squatting, so they're going to be very important. Direct quad work, you don't really hear a lot of it, although there's all types of different types of squats that we do. You don't hear a lot about direct quad work, but I would suggest that you start to implement some of that. You got things like lunges, and you got leg extensions, leg presses. I would do some of this stuff either on the same day as that you squat, or I'd do it on an off day. Shouldn't matter too much. Just try to get some blood flow in there, and just be careful that you don't overdo it. But having strong quads, again, that's going to help you control your weights. That's going to help you be stronger. A lot of people talk about the posterior chain. They're always talking about the hamstrings and the glutes and all these different muscles that are squatting muscles. But let's be honest. Let's just face it. Let's face the facts here and realize that when you do a squat, your quads are heavily involved, no matter what type of squat it is, whether you're out wide or you're in close, or however you want to do it. A great way to train the quads up is to use high repetition, either sumo deadlifts or high repetition Olympic style squats. When I say high reps, anywhere between 8 and 20 reps is going to be suggested. Keep the weights very light, keep the weights moving, keep the tension on the quads, and work on your bodybuilding to get massive. But all those things will help building up those muscles that you don't hear too much about in terms of powerlifting. That's all the tips I got for you for now. That's it from supertraining.tv.